Hi, I'm Carol Fitzgerald and we're here today to talk about avocados and guacamole. I was going to show you just how to cut an avocado, but I decided to make the whole dish. There is a little bit of a trick to cutting an avocado, and I think some people think you have to peel this, and there is a different way of going about it. So we're going to do that first. But great cook that my mother used to be would say, sometimes you just have to see things done. So I'm going to show you how to cut this. So you slice into it. There's a huge pit in the middle, and you get all the way around, and then you just twist this open. Oh, what a beautiful looking avocado, nice and green, no black spots. You take the edge of your knife, hit it into the pit, twist. Sometimes it doesn't go the first time. Again, twist. That's a hard one. Okay, it came out that time. Then you go to your wastebasket and whack it on the edge, and the pit is out. Now, sometimes, I think that when I first started this whole thing, twist, and this is out. Sometimes you try to pull this off the knife and it won't come because it's too slippery. So you just have to whack it. Whack, and then you can't use them, and sometimes I have to buy extra avocados just to make sure I get a bunch of good ones. You have to choose these when they are just right, not too soft, not too firm, but just right. So you have to kind of press them with your thumb and forefinger when you're at the store. If they're too firm, they're just going to be too hard to mash. Now see, this one does have a little bit of brown here, but sometimes they're brown all the way through, so that was good that we found one that's, I can just scoop that little bit of brown out and you'll never know it was there. Okay, then to get them out of here, you can just score them like this, vertically and horizontally. Take your spoon, scoop it out onto a plate, and you can get all the way down to the end of the shell. There's my little dish for my trash. We have a few of them scooped out. Then you can start mashing. You can't mash all of them in a dish like this at once, so you score a few, again like that, scoop it into the plate, and then, okay, taking a large fork here and I'm mashing. Now, some people also like to put this in a food processor, and I've seen them in guacamole in restaurants that have been pureed so fine, but I don't like it that way. That's why I'm doing this by hand. It's a little less work putting it in a food processor, but it's too smooth and the texture isn't as nice. So I call this coarsely lumpy. I like to do it with a fork, so I still have lumps. Of course, I'm strange because I like lumpy mashed potatoes, and I know some people don't like those either. But frankly, everybody really, for being a novice guacamole maker at one time, as I said, I've become quite adept at it, and everybody loves my guacamole, so hopefully you will too. And I've got the juice of 2 lemons here. I'm going to pour that over, mix it up a little bit. If you don't put lemon juice on it, it will oxidize and become brown very quickly. Okay, so we have this all mashed now, and into the bowl it goes. And again, another mom-ism, I guess you would say. Always use a rubber scraper because you can get down to the last drop in the dish here. So we've got the lemon juice. I poured some in there earlier, and now we just mix this up. The lemon juice gives it a wonderful flavor, and it also, as I said, keeps it from oxidizing. It's like an apple that would oxidize once you have it peeled and it's to the air. So there we are. We've got 6 guacamoles in here, wonderful, beautiful ones. Cut up tomatoes that I had done earlier, that's going in there. And then I have onions cleaned here. There's that little bit of skin. I left this last one on, and you just peel that off. You cut the tips off, you cut the ends off, and you use both the green and the white. So that little silky part comes off, and then we slice up the onions to go in here. Some people put white onions, sweet onions in, which is good too, but I happen to like the green onions, so I always use those. Again, both the green and the white gets chopped up into it. Some people only use the green when they're using these green onions, and some people only use the white. This green part is like a chive. It has the flavor of chives, and great on mashed potatoes as well. So this is really gives it a great flavor. And my handy little, again, I think this is a dough thing, but I use it as a scraper, and you can get almost everything up at once if you have a small enough thing of onions or whatever you're picking up. And then this is cilantro. This too gives it a very good flavor. So you want a lot of cilantro in there. And you just start chopping. Again, stems give it great flavor, so I just chop up most of the stems as well. Not all of them, but most of them. So we're going to move that aside, and then we're going to start chopping here. And then just chop. And then you get your little food scraper. Get that all in here. My bowl is a little bit too small for the amount I have, so let's see if I can mix this up without making too much of a mess. But look at those beautiful red tomatoes. I use the little grape tomatoes just because they're really very flavorful. These particular ones are. You can use any kind of tomato you want, but I love these. A little bit of fresh pepper. And my little salt cellar here that I just love. Again, it takes a lot of salt. I don't know what happens to the salt in guacamole, but it gets so absorbed that you can hardly taste it. So lots of lemon juice and lots of salt makes a great guacamole. Stir this up so it's well incorporated. And then we're going to transfer it to a fancy bowl. Now, if I'm going to have a large party, I would probably put this amount out, but since I'm not, I'm going to put this in two separate bowls so the air doesn't get it, all of it at the same time. I'm going to move some of this stuff over here. Bowls. And into one bowl it goes. I might even need 3 bowls. I've got so much of it today. And I think I will. I'll put that in a third bowl. But first of all, I want to show you what I do to help keep this from browning. I will get my parchment paper out here. Cut this into a little circle and press it down onto the plate like that. So most of that is covered, and then I will cover that with saran very tightly so no air gets at it. And whether I serve it on the same day or the next day, it's protected. You can't get too many days out of guacamole because it just gets too dark. But protect it as much as you can this way, and you have it for a couple of days. So if we take this one out to serve tonight, I still have this one for later. You can have a little bit of it, a half a cup I would say, because it is it does have a lot of fat in it, but it's the good fat. You've got your omega-3s in this, so it's very good for you. But if you're trying to lose weight, I wouldn't eat too much of this. So sometimes I will have it for lunch, just a half a cup of it or even a quarter of a cup. But there you go, the wonderful guacamole. And just dip your cracker or tortilla chips or whatever into this, and yum.